Have you ever tried to explain yourself again and again, only to realize the other person never really wanted to understand? You spoke with honesty. You repeated your words, but all they heard was what they wanted to hear. This is a story about a man named Luca Westbrook, a humble lantern maker, who discovered a profound truth. Sometimes silence speaks the truth better than words. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills and slow-moving rivers, there lived a man named Luca Westbrook. He was a lantern maker, gentle, patient, and kind. He crafted beautiful lanterns that lit up the village at night. But there was a man named Malcolm Pierce, the village tax collector, who didn't respect Luca. Malcolm would publicly accuse him of charging too much for his lanterns, calling him greedy and dishonest. "Your light isn't worth the price you ask," he would shout in the marketplace. Luca would smile and try to explain. He would talk about the cost of fine glass, good oil, and the careful hands that made each lantern. But Malcolm never listened. He simply walked away, leaving Luca feeling small and misunderstood. Days turned into months, and Luca continued to defend himself. But no matter how much he explained, rumors spread faster. "Luca is greedy," people whispered. "He hides money in his workshop." The more he spoke, the more the stories grew twisted. One day, feeling exhausted, Luca went to a wise traveler, a monk who had passed through the village. The monk had been blessing the villagers, offering wisdom and advice. Luca approached him quietly, sharing his frustrations. "Sir," Luca said, "I try to be honest. But no matter how much I explain, people twist my words. What should I do to make them understand?" The monk smiled gently and asked, "If a man decides the sky is green, what color is the sky to him?" Luca thought for a moment. "He would still believe it's green, I suppose." The monk nodded. "Would your words change his eyes?" Luca shook his head slowly. "No, I guess they wouldn't." The monk placed a hand on Luca's shoulder and said, "Then stop explaining colors to those who refuse to see. Let your work be your answer. Silence is not weakness, my son. It is strength wrapped in peace." From that day on, Luca stopped defending himself. When people accused him, he simply smiled. When Malcolm mocked him in public, Luca bowed politely and said nothing. At first, the villagers thought Luca was guilty. "See, he has no words left," Malcolm shouted. But Luca kept working calmly and silently. He polished his lanterns with care, lit them each evening, and placed one outside his shop. Night after night, that single lantern burned brighter and longer than any other. Travelers started to notice the warm, steady light of Luca's lantern. They said it made the road feel safer and gentler. Soon, people from neighboring villages came to buy his lanterns, not because of his words, but because of the peaceful glow they carried. One evening, Malcolm Pierce himself came to Luca's shop. He placed 3 coins on the table and said, "I need one for my porch." Luca nodded and handed him a lantern, saying, "It will serve you well." Days later, the villagers saw Malcolm standing outside his home at dusk, staring at the soft glow of Luca's lantern. He didn't speak, but something had changed in his eyes. Finally, he saw what words could never show. Truth doesn't need to shout. Weeks passed, and Luca's shop continued to glow brighter than ever. He still spoke kindly, but never explained himself again. If someone misunderstood him, he let them. If someone doubted him, he smiled. His silence became his shield, and his peace became his greatest strength. One night, as he placed the lantern outside his door, a young boy asked, "Mr. Luca, why do your lights shine so beautifully?" Luca looked at the lantern and said, "Because I no longer waste my fire trying to light the darkness inside others. I keep it here where it belongs." The boy smiled, and the lantern flickered warmly against the dark sky. Moral of the story: sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. When people are trapped in their own illusions, silence becomes your greatest strength. You don't need to defend your truth to those who've already made up their minds. You don't need to explain your heart to those who never cared to listen. When you stop chasing validation, you start living for your own peace, not for someone else's approval. And in that quiet space, life begins to feel lighter, calmer, and real. Motivational message for the audience. If you've ever felt misunderstood, remember this. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength. You don't have to explain your worth to anyone. Let your actions, your work, and your peace speak louder than words. Find strength in your silence, and you'll discover the power of living for yourself, not for others. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to MotiSafe for more motivational tales. Remember, You are never alone on your journey. Stay kind, stay calm, and let your inner light shine.